Today we're traveling to Louisiana and we're going to make their most famous dish, jambalaya. And we have, that's going to be good. We have a ton of ingredients here. We have chicken, we have shrimp, we have sausage, we have a lot of spices, a whole variety of spices. We have the holy trinity of veggies, we have rice. It's going to be so good. I mean, and I haven't eaten it in 25 years since I was in New Orleans last time. So I thought now it's time.
It was about time, yeah.
It was about time. First, we get started with our shrimp to get them cleaned. So off with the head, and I'll show you why in a sec that we start with the shrimp actually, because there is a good little trick to that. Peel off all the outsides here. Question is, shall we leave the tails? For presentation it looks good, but it's not so nice when you eat it. And to devein it, we use a toothpick as usual here. We go in here in the middle of the shrimp under the vein, and we pull it out carefully, and out it comes. Nice.
You have mastered that technique, baby.
Nice and easy, and there you have it cleaned without butterflying it. I have here 1.3 liters of chicken broth coming up to a boil, and we're going to add a handful of our shrimp heads to this to enhance the flavor, and that's the reason we started with the shrimps. Next step, we have to prep our meats, and I have here 600 grams of chorizo. I hope that was correctly pronounced, but I'm not good at it. Because we cannot get our hands on the traditional Andouille sausage here, but chorizo is a good substitute for that. We want to cut this into some bite-sized pieces, so I'm saying around this thickness here. They will shrink a little bit when we cook them, so don't cut them too thin. All chopped and ready. So now we're going to fry them here in a bit of olive oil. 2 tablespoons, not too much because they do have some fat content, so they will fry in here for a little bit. Oh, it already sounds good. Make sure they lie flat so that you get a nice sear on them there. Oh, look, the paprika is already coming out here.
It smells so good. I love these sausages.
They're so good. And actually, we import them from Spain. They're very good, these ones. It's a very good brand. Not pimping it, but but good it is. Super. We leave them there, and then we carry on with our chicken. And that we are also going to cut into bite-sized pieces. Actually, the butcher did a nice job. This is very clean. I like that. So I don't have to think about cleaning it. I can just cut it into bite-sized pieces. Again, like the sausages, don't cut them too small because they will also shrink up a bit when we cook them. They're getting nice and brown, so now it's time to scoop them out of here and see all that beautiful liquid there in the bottom of the pot. That is what's going to make our sauce and our chicken extra good. That's why we start with the sausages. So out they come. They smell amazing. Okay, I'm already hungry just by the smell of this.
Me too.
There. And we put these aside, and then we have to season our chicken. Actually, let me show you this. We have made like this so you can see what we're doing here. We have
that was my creation.
paprika, granulated garlic, sea salt, thyme, black pepper, cayenne pepper, granulated onion, and oregano. And that's our Cajun / Creole spice mixture that we're just gonna mix all in. Then we take 2 nice tablespoons of this to put on our chicken, like that. And this we will save for later, and also in our pantry it's always good to have that. And I will give this a good mix so all our chicken gets covered. That's nice and covered. We set this aside and let it rest for maybe 10 minutes while we prep our vegetables. Our holy trinity of vegetables is peppers, celery, and onion. So let's start with the celery. I have here 4 ribs that we're going to chop into small pieces like this. We leave these to a side, and we move on with our peppers. And the last of the pepper. And as you see, we are putting everything in the same bowl here because it goes into the pot at the same time. And then we carry on with our onion, and see here, clean on the outside, leave the bottom in, then it stays together while you chop it. So we give it a cross here. And in like this, and instant chopped onion. And it's chicken time. They have been resting a little bit, so the spices have worked their magic on it. So back here in our pot, and look at all that fond we already created here. That's going to be so good when we deglaze the pan. So now we want to fry our chicken until it's fully cooked. It's going to be so flavorful with the juices from the sausages. Oh my God. They sure look good. But looks ain't everything. You have to make sure that your chicks, they are hot also. So let's see here. 67, 68. Let me try another one here. Oh, 70. That's perfect. We don't want to take this any further because then they're just going to get dry. So, same as the sausage. Out of the pot. On with the vegetables. In with all of them. And they will release moisture now that will deglaze the pan for us. That's gonna be just beautiful. Now we let this go until it's nice and softened. These are nice and softened, and look here how all the fond has been lifted from the bottom of the pan. If it doesn't lift off just by the liquid from the veggies, you can add a little bit of wine or vermouth or whatever you have just to help it lift off, because you want that fond to go into your sauce. 2 cloves of garlic. Mince them straight in. There you go. This was big ones. Very nice. And stir that around a bit so we get fragrant. Then we are adding a tablespoon of chili flakes, red chili flakes, just to give a little bit more heat. 2 tablespoons of our seasoning we made before. And in with all of that in the sauce. Oh, it's pity they haven't invented smell-o-vision, because this is fantastic. Oh my, oh my. Next up is half a kilo of basmati rice that we have rinsed a couple of times to get some of the starch off. If you don't rinse it, then you risk getting mushy rice at the end, and you don't want that. You want this to be... Go off to the side, and I would just want to mix that in dry and toast it a little bit.
The perfumes here are killing me.
Yeah.
I'm really hungry.
Yeah, well, the good thing about this is there is a little bit of prep work, but actually the cooking is not very long. We're not going to cook this for much time after this. I'll show you. It's pretty quick. All nice and mixed in. Ooh, it smells. Then we go in with 2 cans of crushed tomatoes. There we go. Again. In with all of that. And then our flavor enhanced chicken broth. Even that smells good on its own. There we go. And then we throw in a couple of bay leaves. And we bring this up to a simmer.
You know what does it tell you, that fantastic recipe, that when we put our hands together, we have a great success. Spanish, French, Africans, Native Americans, you name it. Everybody gave an input.
There's a contribution from everybody here, actually. But I think you said also the origins was a little bit blurry. It's not exactly...
They can't really figure out a specific origin, but definitely back to 19th century. But everybody gave, I mean, it looks so, by looks, it's very close to the paella.
True.
Yeah.
True.
A lot
Actually,
of
it is a little bit like a variation of sort of paella. Not, yeah, a little bit. One thing which is important here, when we cook the rice, stir it a little bit to keep the rice not from sticking to the bottom, but don't over stir it because then it will become starchy, because then you release too much starch from the rice and you don't want that. And when it starts to simmer like this, we're going to turn it down a little bit so it doesn't go too wild, and then we're going to cover it up, and now we're going to cook it 8 to 9 minutes until the rice starts to become al dente. The rice needs to cook a total of 12-13 minutes, so 8 to 9 now, and then we carry on. And when this is still sort of, let's call it soupy, that all of the liquids have not been absorbed by the rice, and the rice they are there a little bit too hard still. Then we're going to add back all our meats, but we start with the shrimp because we want them to go nice into the sauce. And then we add our chicken. Don't forget all the juices on these pans because that is the flavor you want to get with you. Man, this smells good. And now we want to nestle all this in nicely. Make sure the shrimps, especially, that they are nice and submerged into the sauce. Oh, that looks good. Like that. And then we turn this down to very low. We cover it up, and then we let it go for about 5 minutes until the shrimps, they're fully cooked. 5 minutes in, and let's check our beauty here. My God, that smells good. But let's give this a stir here and see how we're doing. The shrimps are absolutely perfect. You see, you want the shrimps to cook to that. If they close completely, they are overcooked. So this is perfect and ready to switch off. I just want to have a quick taste of the rice just to make sure that everything is cooked correctly. We are ready to plate this up and make an official taste test. Well, that is just a thing of beauty. And a smell of angels or something like that. Not that I know how angels they smell, but the flavors here in the air is like, whoa.
It looks
it's really
extremely
good.
promising. That
I'm definitely going in with some shrimp here because they are perfect, and some rice, and then we'll try the chicken afterwards. That's downright amazing. It's not too spicy. The rice is cooked to perfection, not mushy. The shrimps are absolutely spot on perfect. Let's try the chicken, just to see. Juicy as hell, not overcooked, not dry. Always remember your thermometer, I'm telling you. Never forget that. But this dish is fantastic.